Hey guys, Vsauce here. Do the brothers actually touch each other, or do they touch each other? Let's find out.
That Vsauce intro.
What the
I did.
hell is wrong with you?
Yeah, I don't know if Zach's gonna cut that or not. Apparently,
Wayne's just over
he's
there
going to leave it
buttering
in.
his nipples. Can't wait to see where I get secure.
I guess
All right,
really-
cum sluts.
How crass can
Welcome
we make
back.
this before Zach cuts it?
Welcome back to
Probably
episode
should
69 of
21, I think. Episode 21, I believe.
Yeah,
episode
21.
69 of Can the Party Get Linen Laid? We
No,
have
you
the
can't.
brothers. Are they step? We don't know yet. Sure hope they are for their sake. We have the gay priest who likes to ride on backs. He's a back rider. We have the staunch and pompous Weenie McGee, Leopold.
Why, thank you.
Wishes he could touch his maid, but he thinks she's a sister. And then finally, we have the one and only Linen,
Oh, jeez.
the Aerodonasi, who's so enveloped in his books, he does not realize he's being enveloped
By the
by
breasts of
that
the-
MILF professor.
Jeez. Which one? That's the question.
Which
Probably
one?
one of them.
Find out on
He
this
could blow
episode.
as hard as
of
his
Dragon Ball
ancestors.
Z.
And don't forget, dear narrator, you forgot our glorious DM who has to
Who,
describe it. And
I cannot
With the
forget
glory
our
detail.
DM, who will describe in detail what the dice will decide during these acts. Let's find out. Is Pax actually a sub?
Pax is entirely a son.
So, if we're actually are going to do a TLDR recap, we got to the end of Platinum Apple. Against Vampire Maris, who keep showing up.
Absolutely homosexual.
He's joining the party too.
We had a very, very disruptive and enlightening conversation with him where there was no mind control this time, just where he runs. And he knows where Storms is, and will leave the gate open for us to kill his brother, because fratricides weapons. No, fratricides are fine.
We gotta kill his brother. He is the worst brother. I know this. A lot of people say he's the worst brother. I know this. He's not his brother. He says he's the worst.
By the way, I'm gonna break my silence to say one of two things. First off, I had the music way louder than the audio for most of that intro until we actually did an intro, because I thought it would be funny. Secondly, you are correct.
You should put captions in.
Fratricide is killing one's brother. Patricide is killing one's father, just as matricide would be killing one's mother. I would sister-side? I don't know. Google. Sororicide. Option 2, sororicide. And to kill your cousin is parasite. Honestly, that just sounds like parasite to me. So, you guys made your way to the Platinum Aboleth. Were able to have a long conversation with Varys, along with some of his allies, members of the Laughing Faces, this group of Harlequins that go around and perform. You learned a little bit about particularly one who seems to be like his right hand, who is not actually a spawn, according to him, but actually a human by the name of Centaur. Leaving Centaur behind to possibly, if at all possible, make his way into the Longwood estate, where Vicious, Varys' brother, is stationed, along with a pretty large number of spawn and other umbral creatures inside this estate that he purchased probably about 6 or so weeks ago when he first got here to the Vox camps in the area of Team. Sentinel will be trying to open the gates for you. That way you and whatever allies you can wrangle can get in pretty easily. Randall, the member of the Kravas Guild, who is also associated with the Vox Savorum, seemed to believe in a little bit of anger that you guys would be able to convince at least some of the Kravas Guild to assist in this assault, if not some Vox forces as well. We leave off as Varys, or we start off as Varys has gone to bed, leaving you guys alone in the lower section of the Platinum Aboleth with Sentinel. How would you guys like to proceed? Yes, it is. Not aunts and uncles. Yeah. Yes, there is plenty of ale left. There's actually a few pitchers, one on the bar and then one on each of the 2 tables, that's still half to a third of the way full.
Does anybody else, while Leo was doing this, also sit down next to Sentinel?
They said
I
Sintel.
thought we were all at the same table.
Well, we were, but Sintel wasn't at that table. He was at a different table.
If I remember correctly, it was Secure was at another table staring directly at the booth we were in. You were, Wayne was leaning on a pillar.
Yep.
Linen, Rikus, and Leopold were actually sitting at the booth of Varys. And Sentinel and... Were the other 2 troop members also still in the bar with us at the
No,
table?
they went up when Varys went to bed.
Okay. But they were there for the conversation.
They were there for
Sentinel's
the
still with
conversation.
us, right?
Sentinel is still with
Yes.
you. He is the only one.
So Sentinel is at another table. If I...
Yes,
Right now.
he is more in the middle of the area, whereas you guys were on a corner booth.
And Sakir is still outside.
Sakir is still outside at this time.
So, anybody else coming over to sit down with me and Sentinel?
I'm standing on my pillar. Because I'm only like 5 feet away anyways.
Yeah, he's not very
Really?
far in the first place.
How many tables over are we?
Like 3. It's not a very large tavern.
Nope.
Well, sitting down next to the man, Leopold will ask, well, why didn't you go up with Varys and the rest of your troop?
Sentinel kind of looks over to you, Leopold, as he kind of finishes a drink, and he says, "Well, I was quite certain that you would wish to speak with me, considering I'm being the only one left behind by Varys, and considering he kind of pointed towards me when he went to bed."
Fair enough. I just thought there wasn't really anything obliging you down here. I mean, from the impression I got, you have a bit of leeway. Otherwise, if he wanted somebody totally obedient, he would have made you a vampire spawn like the others. At least that's the impression I got.
In my opinion, it gives some truth. It gives him an alibi to, well, everything Varys has said so far.
Also, aren't you like sitting at a different table and shouting this across the bar?
By across
hear
the
you.
bar, it's like 15 feet maximum. Like,
We can hear you.
this whole space is 30 foot from one side to the other. You could, and there's no music. It's dead of the night, so it's a very quiet
Telling me
environment as
is
well.
a single fireball can upset.
Yes, a single fireball would take up the entirety of this room.
Did somebody say I cast Fireball?
No.
One day.
Well,
Is Leo? When you said you sit down beside him,
I figured
Did
like
you-
across the table, just like at the same table though.
No, you sitting
when
right
you said
beside
that,
him,
I was just
fucking.
picturing you bumping in beside him and going, "Hey,
That is not
on the
my
same
plan.
side."
It all's coming together now.
Leopold gay confirmed.
I mean, he has this thing with Yvonne going, so he's very clearly bisexual.
It's a sister
really
thing.
lost the train of thought of what I was going to ask.
A stepsister thing, Rikus.
Well, I suppose this is a bit of a
We'll find out.
broad question, but what is Varus like? You know, from somebody who, well, doesn't exactly meet him and talking about, let's just say, diplomatic negotiation.
I would like you to roll me a persuasion check.
I actually have a decent persuasion. I'm just gonna roll this on D&D to be honest, I don't know Forge up.
Gay! Get Forge up! Gay!
I'll get it up after this. I just don't want to take like a minute doing it.
That's
That is
what he said.
unfortunate. I rolled
Man,
an
it takes you a minute? That's crazy. So, rolling an 8, he kind of
Hold on.
looks...
You can wait for me to roll on Forge, right?
You kind of ask that, and he immediately kind of looks up and just gives you this, like, seriously, questioning face, and is like, I don't believe any of us are quite to that point of conversation yet. We're barely friends. This is our first evening together.
Well, can you blame me for wanting to get straight to the point? Something tells me that we'll be seeing more of your boss around, rather unfortunately.
Straight to the point is wanting to bone on the first date. Not ask me about my boss, who quite legitimately is a creature that you have hunted in the past.
At least buy him dinner first, Leopold.
Yes. In fact, he bought you dinner, and now you're asking the questions?
Do you have any questions you wish to ask of me?
Not particularly. You're not that interesting. I already know everything I would want to know about. And he kind of motions to all of you.
I've got a question. So, obviously, you've been voluntold by your boss to help us in this endeavor to go kill his brother and play the role of Trojan. Well, I guess that's not a real thing. Hold on. Can I say Trojan horse?
Sure.
Yeah, Trojan horse.
The Caladrian horse.
Yeah, the Caladrian horse. To get us in and open Pandora's box, and well, ruin his day. Quite literally.
One night.
What's your opinion of all of this? How do you feel about the mission that's at hand?
I would like you to roll me a persuasion check.
We're all just going to continually flub these persuasion checks, aren't we?
Since
I just want to know how
I
he
believe in you.
No.
I believe in you.
no, hold,
you can
hold
do
on
it,
before
Rikus.
you roll that. Since I'm at the booth next to you, I'm just gonna guidance.
Guidance has
Wait.
somatic components
Fuck.
and
Okay.
verbal. You would literally like be glowing light behind him. You can do it, Rikus, as
can
he's
do it!
trying to question
believe!
Sentol.
No guidance.
21. I win.
His gaze kind of looks over towards you and says, I have minimal feelings on the matter personally. Vicious is barbaric, if nothing else, a brute that only uses his fists. It is shameful that someone of such power would have so little comprehension of greater scales and deeds possible in a new world such as this. A world I've lived my whole life in. Varys has seen the opportunities early. Vicious has not. He's a waste of necrotic vampiric blood.
Damn. Yeah. Well, that's an opinion.
That's what
Is
you
there
asked
anything-
for.
Anything?
Yes, it is.
While we are in there hunting Vicious, anything particular you want us to smash up? I guess,
Or grab.
or grab.
Or watch out for.
I would watch out for some of his guardian hounds. They are beasts that sentient have been taken by his vampiric charms. I don't know exactly what they're called, or what exactly they are, but they are large, 8-legged beasts. He has 4 of them, that have intense blood tracking capabilities.
They turned John?
No.
Sorry, that was out of character.
That was way out of character. And Centaur will continue. Try and make sure none of them survive, or else they will hunt you until the end of their or your days. That is, if you are successful in killing Vicious. They can not only go invisible, they are patient, and will stalk prey for extended periods of time, for the opportune moment. You kill Vicious tomorrow, 6 months down the line, right after you've finished killing a large beast from Carceri, you will find a pair of invisible dogs that you cannot see jump upon you and tear you to shreds. If at all possible, leave none of them alive.
What?
They will be beside him, defending him at all times. So, if he dies, they will run away in an attempt to become the predator again in the future.
Where do you guys find these things?
It's not as much find, dear Linen. I would expect someone of your intellect to have a little bit more of an idea in this regard. These are beasts from an ancient time, where multiple civilizations played God and created new beasts on the daily, Avalar being one of them.
I realize that, but there's a lot. But from what I've read and heard, there's a lot of things in Carceri. How do you pinpoint that specific one? Oh,
There
it's-
was a long time of this immense, insane, and incongruent creation between these many city-states. At least that's what Varys says. Thousands of years where, in perpetuity, they created whatever their mind and heart desired. Not just for lust, or for use, or for the death of their enemies, or the protection of their own. For whatever service they could think of. Taking out the trash. Cuckolding themselves. They would use their technology to make anything they wished.
ancient civilizations.
Okay.
Ace was a big one. Robotics and all that.
Robots.
Yeah, I remember reading a very brief mention of that in the reports.
Robots.
Yes,
Are
robots.
robots?
Do you remember, Lennon, our...
No, but
You,
like
you,
literally.
you do not remember, Lycus... Was it Lycus that mentioned this? Wait.
It was
No, but literally
Avatar.
out of. But like
Avatar.
literally.
That's right. Avatar sent us
common.
on this.
Robots are not common. Not here.
Okay.
Not now. Not today's day and age.
Okay. I don't know if Lennon would know what robots are.
Linen would
In
understand
lore-
the concept.
In lore, the Dwendalian Empire had extremely rudimentary versions of automated machines, but they were like
Yeah, like
leagues
Golem.
behind. What?
Oh, so advanced golems and
Basically.
automatons.
Either way. Yes, Linen. Avatar. He mentioned the one who's called the Creator from the Vox.
Oh, yes.
Yes. From my notes, he would be an automaton.
Oh, okay.
Don't know to what extent, but he's called the Creator. I assume that he has some level of intelligence, probably.
Centaur kind of. He has developed a whole new brand of armor that he is selling for extravagant prices. He's creative. I wouldn't call him intelligent necessarily, but he can make good armor or a weapon. We've purchased some.
Well, I just purchased this one here, and I knocked the serpent scale that I'm wearing, and say, old Leopold here caught my eye with him running around, flashing and dashing.
Why am I
in
not
that,
surprised another man caught your eye, Rikus? From your history in the military, it's quite astounding that you don't have another man on your hip right now.
Don't ask, don't tell.
Well, a lot of people don't tell about Owlbear Team 6, but there are some who do.
That's classified. Either way.
Not classified enough.
Oh, I mean, it's out there. Anyone who can put a rock and a stick together can figure out that we existed. Either way, on the topic of men, tell me, just for my sake, who in this gathering do you find the most attractive right now? Randall's the obvious answer, but we'll move on.
He's going to take a few moments, look from each other, and he's going to say, the one outside.
It's because he's
Any-
taller, isn't it?
Any particular
Noted.
No, it's because he's bald. I like using a plunger.
I suppose each will have their own curious tastes. But tell me, in the sense of small talk, I can't exactly ask about your future plans, as I don't imagine you'll tell us. I don't think either of us care about the weather, so how do you find your ale? I'm personally more of a wine guy, but...
I'm personally a mead, a honeyed mead, perhaps every once in a while a good rum. Sadly, I haven't spent enough time on the Concordian seas. However, being half enslaved most of my life, it is difficult to get the good stuff. However, Varys has been kind enough to show me around a little bit. So I'd have to say meads and rum, as of now. Higher contents, with a little bit of fruit to their flavour.
I've never particularly...
You know,
Uh,
I think I'm starting to respect this man here.
So, I'll have some honeyed mead whenever one of my dwarvish friends come around, but other than that, I generally prefer wine. Nice strawberry wine. Goes quite well with a relaxing.
I'm taking a sip of my ale as he says strawberry wine, and I just like fucking spit out. I just fucking spit out and be like,
That's gay. Regardless,
"You
is
fucking
small talk
You call
this
that
big
wine?
a thing in the Inexorables? I thought you would be coming over to plan. I could have been asleep by now.
Welcome to the
can I
Inexorables, where all of us only need 4 hours of sleep, except Lynn here, who gets by and will probably carry him.
Lynn
Yeah.
is probably like starting to crash.
And in my defense, I did try to be quite direct with what I wanted to ask you, and you said that I shouldn't be so direct, so I thought I would make small talk.
You asked about my boss, not about the possible mission we will be partaking in together. Very different stories, Leopold. Don't try to twist the story and make it your own. Tell the truth.
Yes,
and
Leopold.
keep
I
to
was
it.
the first one. I was the first one to ask him about the mission, Leopold. However, I asked what his opinion was.
Fair that, but that's because I simply wanted to ask about your boss. I'm not exactly going to get a chance to have a... Well, I very well may not get a chance to have a conversation with you in the future.
What do you
And-
mean? We're gonna have the next few days.
And something tells me that your boss won't exactly go about telling everything about him by himself. And no offense to your boss, considering that he did, swear not to mind control us now, but if I do try and talk to him in the future, there's no telling that he might not in the future.
That is fair. However, I will say, a man extending an olive branch such as this, the death of his own brother, and over 50 of his compatriots that have been terrorizing this Vox camp for weeks on end at this point, and there is such doubt and vitriol almost towards the concept. Why not accept the boon as it has come?
Have you ever heard the saying that when something is too good to be true, it probably is?
Have you ever heard the saying, don't look the gift horse in the mouth?
I suppose sayings are often contradictory. The point I'm trying to make is that your boss is by no means a stupid man. If we are doing this, this is because he wants us to do it. This has some... plays into some big scheme of his. And,
I thought Varys already answered that question, though.
He did.
well, he did give us an answer. Whether or not it's an answer we can truthfully accept, I am... more than likely than not, I do agree he is being truthful, but I still want to get a sense of the man. I want to understand what he wants. I want to understand why he does the things he does, because odds are we are going to be meeting him again, and I prefer not to be flat-footed in such things.
To be fair, our first meeting with Varys wasn't, optimal.
Though,
And
in
he's
comparison-
also
You broke into his apartment and stole his things. Of course it wasn't that
and-
kind of a first
course.
meeting. He accepted
also-
you
To
as
be
a friend.
fair, Leopold was against the idea of having me break into his apartment, but he left the door unlocked.
To be fair, you kept the platinum. And
He
the
told
s-
me I could.
Yes, but still.
I kept it as evidence, which I was going to turn over to the police.
Show me that you have
But he told me to
100
keep-
platinum in your bag right now.
I actually
Do you?
do. I have a total of.
I was gonna say, do you have the same amount of platinum that was found,
or did you spend it already?
or did you spend it already?
Let's see.
Surely he must have.
Eh.
So I have 386 gold, 50 platinum. The 50 platinum that I pull out and say, this is the other half of what's left over after I paid a hunter that
Oh,
didn't get his fair share in a hunt.
An admirable way to spend some of the money, still. Regardless, this is
It's
petty
faster to
speech.
count platinum than gold, so I just did that.
This is petty speech and not necessary for
Oh,
the
to answer your-
conversation at hand.
Oh, yeah.
Sentel, to answer your question, as far as is this amount of squabble normal in the Inexorables? And I look at Wayne and go, just wait till we get on the road, right, brother?
Truth. That
I
bald
think-
one
You're
is
go-
fancy for definitely doesn't know how to shut up. His bald head
True.
might not be the only thing you're liking after you see his mouth run.
Oh yeah.
Hello, Jade. Welcome to our
Yeah, I'm a little
21st
confused.
session. We are in the tavern still talking with Centaur. We started very late so that we wouldn't go too deep without you.
Nate, that was fucking gold.
That was
Yeah,
golden.
I kind of caught on right at the end. He's like, right, brother? And I was like, right?
No,
what?
no,
Wait,
no,
I don't know
no,
how to
no,
respond.
I
And then he
was saying
says
that
bald
to-
head. I was like, why are you picking on me? I just got here.
Oh,
I
He wants
said
to use
brother
a
to
plunger
Wayne.
on your head.
So you
No,
are
no, we will get into that.
you are outside still secure. Last we knew.
Yeah.
When
okay.
do you intend on coming back in? They're probably about like 10 minutes deep into a conversation with Sentol.
I want to be readily available on the phone for if he comes back to me, so I'm probably not going back in as of now.
Okay, then we're ignoring you still.
Sounds
Sentol
good.
is going to say, to get to business, since y'all don't seem to want to.
Well, we're trying to wait for Secure, but I guess he wants to stay outside.
I think he's a little shy this evening. Ferris has that
He's-
effect on young men. Regardless,
Leave him to
Well,
eye
fine.
candy. We'll put him in the
Fine.
front line.
yes.
It
The
doesn't matter.
Longwood Estate is a 8-acre walled-in estate along the coastline south of Team. It is maybe 2 hours outside of the city, and as I've said, no small estate. It only has one primary gate, along with a sea gate. However, there's no true wall on its cliff sides. The estate as a whole does not have tall walls, but they are still tall enough that your average human could not get up onto them. And there is a small moat listed around the facility. The intent was for you, if at all possible, to grace the estate with a small army, either tomorrow afternoon or the morning after. As the vast majority of those inside the estate will be sleeping at the time.
Vicious. What sort of I guess he's more. You and Varys say he's more brutish. What type of, I guess, combat style do we expect from him aside from those dog hunters?
I've seen him I have seen him rip a gnome man in half, punch through the chest of a dragonborn, and I do believe crush the skull of a Goliath. He is quite strong.
Looks at Beckus. You think Secure can take him?
No.
Oh yeah, totally.
Very specifically mentioned Pax as being the only person in the Vox camp currently who could even think of challenging him in a near 1v1 combat. And even then, I would advise that not be your only plan. Have contingencies, my dear friends.
Of
Okay,
course.
so here's another question. Do you know where Stolius is being held?
Not the exact cell, but I do know the general vicinity. There are 3 lower floors underneath the estate. He is on the 2nd in the eastern compartments. Used to be a wine cellar, recently converted into some form of cell. He is likely being kept with new spawn, but in a cage to himself, as he is not to be turned himself, even though he likely couldn't be. They do not wish to kill him, as they are entirely certain he has either some grand contingencies or a clone, and they have no way to capture the soul. So there's some difficulties in that.
Are there any other captives in the estate?
I'm sure there are. I do not know of them.
Do we have to worry about any of them being charmed and attacking us if we attempt to rescue?
Absolutely.
Alright then.
Then you say that maybe we should do. Let's see what you think of this plan. We'll play the diversion. As they say, the throw a shiny object to divert attention. Pax and a greater number of force starts the commotion. The Inexorables and some of the other
Specialized units.
Specialized units of the Vox can infiltrate with us, and you can lead the way through the cell, break and Trotty out, and Trotty and Pax together, plus everyone else's backup, to take him down.
Respectfully, Dracus, do you think Stolas is going to be in any condition to fight after being in a cell tortured for days?
I will
No
note,
idea.
I will note 3 particular problems with this plan. First off, as Leopold mentioned, Stolius has been drained of blood, and particularly the essence of the weave around him. Even if you were able to resuscitate him, he would be unable to cast any spells, which sadly is his only use in such an occasion. He must be the last thing gathered, lest you trap yourselves down in the cellars, as there is only one exit, the stairs up to the main floors. At least from the second layer. The first has other exits, but regardless, if you were to catch yourself down there, a widespread alarm would go out, and Vicious, along with his hounds, and many others, would be waiting for you as soon as you make up the stairs. Many of them do not wear armor. They have no need to don or doff to get ready for battle. Just grab the nearest thing and then club you to death.
Do the hounds normally stay in the main building, or do they patrol the estate?
They're invisible most of the time. I can't tell you exactly where they are. Vicious alone knows exactly where they are at all times.
I guess we.
So if I did happen to confirm that it is likely that Entrati is in a vessel body, if we had another vessel body that was full of life and vitality, and we eliminate that body, move him to the other vessel, how long would that take? I don't know much about magic.
That's not how it works.
Okay. It's a little fucked up too, but
Wes, a few
I've done
questions.
worse.
So I know you mentioned Varus's hounds. Are there any other
Vicious.
people we should be or Vicious? Sorry, Vicious's hounds. Are there any other people we should be worried about on his estate?
People?
I know that. Well,
People are creatures.
shall we say? I know there were the umbral creatures and vampire spawn mentioned, but lacking specifics.
There is a particular... a Gothiath, as I believe they're called. A mixture between ogre, troll, and a few other creatures. Leaps and runs on all fours, hunched over like a goblin, but weighs nearly a ton, and is quite small and thick. They are quite dangerous, and he does have one at his beck and call. However, it is quite dumb, easy to trick. I myself have tricked him into killing a few other spawn. I have received a quite large reprimand for that one. It was quite funny, though.
How did you do that? It might be a trick we can pull off.
I merely told him that Vicious had intended for him to kill them later the day, and I told him to get on it before he even asks. They had received a recent penalty, so there was some reason to the possibility. Vicious loves death and killing. But Gork was particularly interested in violence that evening and had been told no already.
A little more situational than I was hoping.
We might be able to.
Okay, so
Actually, no, hold on. If we. You said that there's no main walls on the sea cliff side, so if we send a small party to infiltrate early through the cliffside, we could meet up with you. You give us a list of spawn that have received punishment recently. We could use this Agathia, you said, to
Orgathia.
kill them, or Gathia, to kill them early.
I'm going to be honest, that is an incredibly stupid plan.
On the topic of cliffsides, though, you could potentially leave us a rope and make it.
Jade, I believe you are breathing into your mic excessively loud. Check your mic inputs. I believe
your mic
you're on the right
position.
mic, but you're just into your mic. It's quite distracting.
Check. Move
Dang.
your mic position. I think it's under your nose.
Yeah, it is. That was my bad.
Okay.
So, stole us rope.
I could
Okay,
certainly
so-
store a rope on the cliffside and let it dangle if you so wished. However, I don't see why you wouldn't just use the front gate when, in all likelihood, I will be the only person there.
Depends if we are going to sneak around like how Rikus earlier mentioned. I just want to keep the option open.
On the sneak around note, obviously, Entrati is not an option to use in battle. I get that now. But sending in a specialized unit to go about
So,
slaughtering a bunch of sleeping vampires.
I do have a question about that. Where do most of them sleep during the day?
They
Just
do not
inside the
sleep
mansion?
in coffins, if that was a particular question in your mind. They sleep in beds, they sleep in small capsules where they curl up in the fetal position as blood isn't infused into their skin. It's quite strange. I do not like the capsules, but it seems to be an ancient technology to enhance the ability of the spawn early, even when they were only turned a few days ago. Mostly beds. However, I will say most of the spawn there have very heightened senses, especially a scent of smell. If you were to enter a room and have a fairly distinct smell, as all of you have, it would be quite counterproductive.
Question. So, they all sleep inside the one mansion, correct?
Estate, yes.
Stage. And it's just one large building.
There are some smaller shacks and sheds and stables set around the place, and a greenhouse. However, you will very rarely find anyone outside of the estate during the day.
And who... is there anybody patrolling the grounds during the day?
There are a few hired mercenaries that do not know exactly what they are protecting, but I believe they were all killed yesterday, as they finally did discover what they were protecting. So there aren't really any non-spawn there outside of what was the Laughing Faces. But we are gone now, or at least
And my
most of us.
final question.
It's not
so
going to be your
access-
final question, so don't say so.
For this line of reasoning.
Okay.
With... so, Stolius and everybody else who we may potentially care about should be kept in the basement. Is the only way to access that through the house, or is there like an exterior entrance like one might find in a cellar?
As I had said before, the entrance to the second layer has no exits outside of the stairs. The first does have an exit through an approximately 8-inch wide sewer drain that goes to the cliff. I do not believe you can fit there.
And what about... so the only other exits are through the mansion, then?
As far as I know and am concerned, yes.
I had the thought that we could simply burn down the mansion, but that may prove to be a little... Well, I suppose we could sift through the rubble to try and find the stairs.
It would be incredibly dangerous to do that. As I will note, it is made of wood, but it is, at least at the base layer, mostly brick. So it will take time to manifest the full flame. Along with that, vampires, sadly, are mostly resistant, even the spawn, to the flame damage. And then the fact that most of these are enhanced spawn, or even past the point of being spawn at this point, are no longer affected by the sun like those who were recently turned in the Vox camp. They will not char by being outside. They will still be able to fight. Weakened, but still be able to fight.
And something tells me there's probably plenty of windows to break out if we block the doors.
Plentiful amounts.
And still think that burning down the mansion might be a good plan B, but let's think of an alternate plan A.
I guess we can't sabotage the enhancement pods.
We can go in with a large force and kill as many in their sleep as possible and slay the rest in a fair fight. It is simple.
I thought you said that they would have the scent to wake up if they smelled that.
Yes,
gas.
as many as we can.
Well, I guess from the impression I got, as many as we can sounded like 0.
They will still be rousing, in a sense. I was more shying away the concept of a small group going in and doing it. That would effectively put them in a situation where there is an entire mansion of creatures, my apologies, of creatures that very well could all wake up and kill them if a scream is shouted. Now, if there was a small army running through the halls, running into the rooms at similar time frames, it would be a far more plausible plan.
So, what I'm hearing is that we sneak an army or two inside that mansion, get us all positioned outside of every single door where the vampires will be, and on the count of 3, we all kick in the doors and cut off their heads as best we can.
Why not? Of course, that is unreasonable of a plan, but I can guarantee you that there have been worse plans put forward by your group in this conversation.
He has a
Not all of them will be sleeping. There will be those awake inside the estate. The vast majority will be sleeping at that time frame. It does take a short amount of time. Now, they don't have to put on armor, like I said, so it won't be a 10-15 minute response time. But even 1 minute in an estate, effectively even as large as the Longwood estate, would be quite simple if there were 100 to 200 people running through it.
question. Wait. Hold on. I remember long ago, Leopold, somebody said that garlic didn't work on vampires, correct? They actually avoid the strong smell.
I fucking tell you this every
No.
time.
I am trying to remember whether it was Stolas or whether it was Varys himself that said that.
It was Varys.
Okay, I remembered it was one of the two. But yes, question.
Could you? I wonder if we could. This won't change the plan whatsoever. But I wonder if we could use garlic to overpower their sense of smell.
Like a garlic bomb?
I cannot deny or say that would work. I've never heard such of an idea. It is intriguing, if nothing else.
Wouldn't just smoke grenade have the same effect?
Yes, except now you can't see either.
And with vampires and enhanced senses, they might even be able to see you better than you them.
It's just a thought.
Are you suggesting, Lennon, that we use questionable moral tactics and use tear gas?
I'm not saying we use that. I'm saying we use their biology against them.
I believe that is textbook racism.
No.
Yes. I
It's
think
biochemical warfare.
Against
think
their particular
Sentil has a
biology.
Sentil
Yes.
has a point.
Toll. It's
We
an
use the same
O,
with
not an E.
insecticides.
Well, insects
I-
deserve to die.
Tear gas idea. I've heard the term before, and I know vaguely what it does, but how possible is it to make a batch of tear gas?
With the amount of time we have, not at all.
We need 2 ingredients. However, an effective means of deploying it and an effective means of, well,
Protecting ourselves from it.
Protecting yourself from it. We don't have all the equipment.
Unfortunate.
Now, if we had a
Oh,
way to get all of that
may
equipment,
be protected by our biology because we can't sniff as strong as they can.
yes, but have you babbled and gagged out of every orifice that you can think of?
Yes.
I'm not
Yeah.
talking to you.
Hey,
And no,
my
you were
apologies.
didn't involve a gag. Anyways.
It involved two.
Question, Rikus. You have some
Yikes.
grenades and some dynamite, don't you?
I carry one stick in my pocket and a couple in my backpack.
How large is the explosion on those?
About as large as a stick of dynamite, I'd say.
I'm wondering if we could use those either for room clearing or if we could get enough of them to take down part of the mansion. It would be a lot faster than burning it down.
None of us have large
Um,
spells.
I don't know what the architectural design of this building is, but I would say that, given the fact it's made out of mostly wood, I don't think we have time to walk around and sneakily place, 57 barrels of gunpowder.
I don't suppose any of you know how to contact the astral plane or the astral sea. Would you?
No. But even if we only take out a little bit, we could... that would be places we don't have to sort of reach and clear to get
Wayne,
rid of that ourselves.
why do you ask?
Oh, I just grew up with this friend, and last I'd heard from him, he was working on some sort of plutonium thing or something or other, and he just said it goes boom really big, so it sounds like what we...
You are 300 years old. An old friend could be dead by now, dependent upon the race, even in the astral sea. In fact, likely is dead.
I wonder if he finished it.
If you are indeed correct of that type of technology, the Githyanki have it, and likely killed your friend for it.
That does sound something like those assholes would do.
Yes.
Encountering the Githyanki myself, that's exactly what happened.
So I think we have part of a plan forming together. We'll take all of the dynamite that Rikus has, see if we can get any more, and we can set the charges at one place on the house where we aren't going to breach. Then we can set it off, which will be a signal for everybody to kick in their respective doors, start fighting vampires, and hopefully, if we can get enough, that might bury any vampires in a collapsed rubble.
I will.
How big of an explosion do you think dynamite makes?
It will collapse a portion of the estate, not a large one, but it will certainly make a boom and distract and be a signal. But I will also note to you guys, I am not a combatant here. I am merely opening the door and disappearing.
I never said you were. I was gesturing for the Inexorables plus whatever armor you managed to scrounge up. What say we for the plan? Rikus, you're the man with the explosives.
I mean, I'm not denying the fact that you'd cause damage to the foundation, depending on where you put it, and depending on if we can get down to the lowest level to actually cause damage to the foundation. No guarantee that the explosion itself will kill the creatures, or that the crumbling structure will kill the creatures. On top of the fact, it takes time to set up. You have to unravel the entirety of the extra bit of fuse I have, and it's an eyesore. So
Well,
if any of these spawn have a intelligence above a horse, they'll recognize that, oh, Something's not right here.
You take quite as much time as you insist. Imagine, if you will, and this might not work with the building's architectural layout, but if we were able to place that dynamite at the end of a long hallway, I could pulls out gun, shoot the fuse and light it. I mean, this is fire.
Oh,
I mean,
speaking of
at
architecture, do we have a
that
map-
rate,
do we
just take
have a
out your
map of the
cannon and use
estate?
it as a signal.
Well, yes, but my cannon won't blow up part of the building, and if we place it outside of the door of a room, then even if it doesn't kill what's inside, it'll at the very least collapse the floor out.
Cento, on the topic
Here-
of architecture, do we have a map of the estate?
No.
Oh.
Even if I did, it wouldn't be very helpful, as I would only have a plain view map. I do not have architectural drawings or anything of the sort.
Dang.
Regardless, you have some layer of plan now. I am going to bed, as I am a human, unlike you elven fucks. When I awake, I will be heading to the estate. If you have not arrived by 5 p.m. tomorrow afternoon, then I will expect you to be there at 9 a.m. the morning after. If you are not there by then, I will assume that you have failed negotiations in gathering allies, and will leave the estate. Does this seem fair?
Yep,
Quite
I think
fair.
we can work out the final details
Yes.
while we're gathering there.
So, even if I didn't get my most personal questions about your boss answered, thank you for your time, Stolas. Central. I don't know if it's Stolas. Thank you for your
Tolius is the one we were saying.
I
Yeah.
know. It's the S names. I'm constantly mixing up Varus and Viscus.
As he stands
Thank you
up,
for your time.
he pushes himself away from the table, just screeching the chair against the hardwood, stands up, and he looks at you, Rikus, and says, "Don't forget to tell your brother to come inside. There's supposed to be rain this evening. I'd hate for him to come in the morning like a whimpering dog soaked."
The plunger would stick better.
Oh, last thing. Where do you get a sword like that?
I have already explained that, and I will not do it again.
Oh, yeah.
And he is going to go upstairs.
And as he leaves, Leopold is going to signal to
Yes.
Rikus. Before you, no, I'm signaling to Rikus. Not
Okay.
to
Oh.
Okay.
Sentinel.
You said before he leaves, so
Sorry, I meant like as he was leaving. That was my
Okay.
mistake. Yeah. So signaling to Rikus. Rikus, before you call your brother in, I'm going to ask this as a bit of courtesy. You don't mind if I punch your brother, do you? Or give him a pistol whip?
I don't care. However, curiosity is striking me. Why?
I will tell you
Is
after
this a
I've done so.
consensual thing,
and-
or
And with that, Leopold stands up and begins to walk out.
well, that answers that, I suppose.
Man, I can't believe you called me an elf.
Lover's quarrel.
Do I look like an elf to you guys?
Well, you're not human.
That's true.
alright.
Anyways.
So, what would you all like to do? Who's going to bed? It is late.
Linen!
I would say, I guess, do we want to do the conversation between Secure and
yeah.
Wayne first, or do we want to let Rikus and Wayne do anything first?
Are Rikus and Wayne doing anything, or are you guys going to sleep?
I'm gonna turn to Wayne and be like, Sentinel's a bottom, ain't he?
For sure.
Yeah.
Linen up
Yeah.
the stairs. I think he's a switch.
Coming from Linen. God damn. Rikus just does a fucking double take at the stairs. He's like, what the fuck?
upstairs. Yeah, he's just taking a room.
Just
No,
like,
Lin-
did he bang the MILFs or no? It's inconclusive.
Linen will like go into like the same. Will go into the same room Randall's in.
What
just to make
books
sure
were he
he's
reading?
alive.
Randall is
You'll
alive.
never know.
Randall is seemingly staring up at the ceiling very angrily at this moment.
Yeah, we do some dumb stuff. Anyways, see you in the morning, and Linen will just like pass out, flop on the bed.
He does not respond.
Soonish.
You said he's staring angrily?
He's staring up at the ceiling, seemingly angry.
What a little bitch.
I didn't say he's angry at you.
Linen assumes.
Comment
he's angry.
stands.
Yeah, Linen assumes he was angry at us, and it's like, yep, we're dumb. Anyways, good night.
Lennon's just used to everyone being mad at him.
He's just used to something happening. It's like
Lenin's a
whatever,
middle
I'll deal with
child.
it. He really is. We'll deal with it tomorrow. Don't worry, Randall. We got this. Baby.
Alright. So, outside.
So where is Secure outside?
Secure is right across the street, probably sitting on the front porch of, like, if there's a tavern or something across the street, sitting there, facing you as you come out. He's just writing on some papers a little absentmindedly.
Leopold will, call out, "Hey, Secure," and kind of wave him over.
All right, he like puts down a pen and shoves the papers in his pocket. As he's walking over to you, he's just gonna say, "All right, I contacted him a while ago. I assume that our vampire friend is gone."
Yes, but there is one quick thing I want to ask you. I'll fill you in on the conversation. But you went upstairs earlier, correct?
I did, yes.
Yes. And then, well, in that case, I think there's something I need to show you in the stables. Just follow me. And Leopold will lead Secure over the stables.
All right. He walks over there. He looks down to put the thinning stone in his pocket.
Once he is inside, actually, not even necessarily inside, because there's probably more light outside. But still, they're kind of cut off from everybody else. Leopold is going to take out his pistol, hold it by the revolver, or hold it by the barrel, and see if he can just smack Secure on the side of his head.
All right. He was looking down to put something in his pocket.
I was gonna
I'm
say
not saying I
you
get
have you have
Okay.
advantage on this
Say
strike.
for dramatic sake, I guess we can roll it as an attack roll, but for dramatic sake, can we just say Secure?
I say that he hits me because I was not
Okay.
paying attention and did not expect it.
and
Double that. Double that.
for simplicity's sake, can you fall down to the ground?
Simplicity.
I don't know about
think it would
fall.
be interesting.
He would definitely be caressing his head like half to the ground, but I don't think he would be like laying prone.
Fair enough. Either
Yeah,
way,
I wouldn't fall over unless you hit me really hard. That would be attack roll.
And Leopold's
and
weak.
damage.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Either way, I'm going to really hope that I don't hurt my throat or make somebody come up here wondering what all the yelling is about.
All right.
As the you get a second to recover after the after the handle of the revolver hits your temple, Leo is just going to grab onto your shirt and shout at Secure. Secure, you bloody incompetent fool! You god's damned heartless ass! You could have gotten yourself killed or mind controlled going upstairs by yourself. Did you not think that Varys set this entire damn situation up when he bought those rooms in our name? When he gave us a letter telling us to come here, it was bad enough when Rikus and Linen went in, but at least they were together. Did you not think of what happened the last time you met Varys? Did you not think you were putting yourself in danger? Have you ever thought for once in your life, Secure? No, I'm wrong. So you certainly have thought. You thought about how to be a murderer and get an innocent man killed for our benefit by using him as damn bait. Going up to the damn rooms you went upstairs to go into by yourself. And You know what? Perhaps I can be a bit of a stick in the mud, or whatever you might call it. But I can understand breaking laws when it comes to breaking into an empty apartment to mission valuable information. I disagree with the process, but I can understand why you do it. But for putting an innocent man's life at risk, when he is here of his own volition to help us, that is a line I will not cross. 9 hells, Sakir, do you have any sort of sense of basic human decency? Do you? Say something!
If this is a trickle down of me making fun of you and your maiden, I really am sorry. I didn't know that it would come to this.
He is going to sort of like brandish the end of the rubber at you angrily. It is not that. You want to talk about me poorly. You want to make crass jokes at my and Yvonne's expense. I don't like that. But I'm not going to resort to physical violence over that because I have thick skin, and I know Yvonne is even thicker skin than I do. And she is perfectly capable of defending herself. No, this is about what you did. What you did earlier tonight, and to even a lesser... Well, this is about what you did earlier tonight. Do you not think before you secure? You could have gotten yourself killed, or gotten yourself used against us to kill us. We had no idea what Varys was going to do. He could have been setting a trap for the entirety of us. Is that not what you and Wayne were thinking earlier?
So, you would rather of us all gone upstairs at the same time?
Yes, because then, if Varys wanted to attack us, he would have been attacking all 5 of us instead of just attacking yourself.
I see. And you also did not like the plan of us putting one up there for bait.
Yes, because
I did suggest someone not in the party. I did leave it open that it could be any one of us as well.
We know what we are getting into, putting our lives on the risk, putting our lives on the line, risking this. When you had suggested using... I'm forgetting the NPC's name, and it really fucking annoys me. When you suggested using the man from the Hunters Guild as bait, he did not know what he was getting into, and you were going to just use him as unknowing bait, potentially getting him killed. And... do you
I'm
not
sorry.
have any sense of duty? Do you not have any sense of not getting others killed? Of not even getting yourself killed?
When I went upstairs, it was not out of a sense of duty, not out of a sense of honor even. It was simply because I was going to bed for the evening. I wasn't thinking about that, okay?
That is my
we were
problem.
just
You
going
were
we were
not
just going
thinking.
to bed. I didn't understand what was the difference between going inside the tavern like everyone was doing and going upstairs. The reason I was going upstairs was to go to my room. I was going to my room.
The room that
And then I just
you
happened to
Varys
run into
paid
Varys.
for. The room that we knew Varys paid for, that you yourself had called out as potentially being a trap. Did you not think that Varys might have done something to that? He could have very well set some sort of explosive to open as soon as you entered the door. We don't know what Varys wants to do. We do not know what he is capable of. Fully capable of, either way. Imagine if he was just waiting in that room for you and had mind controlled you as soon as you walked in. Imagine if that is what happened.
Well, better me than you.
What is better is if the 2 of us are going up there, and if he can mind control 2 of us, well, very well then screwed, but at that point he may as well be able to mind control the entire party. And we know he can mind control at least one person. That leaves at least another person to shout out, to call for the rest of the party for backup, to potentially try and break the other person out of it. We are a team for a reason. And I know it might seem like sort of counterproductive for me to say this after I've hit you with this, and you actually is Sakir like potentially bleeding from that? He's at least got a bruise, I imagine.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, a little bit.
How much
After
damage
I've
did you do?
bruised you like this. But understand, I want everybody on this team to live. I have agreed to take a job from the Academy of Dusk, and I want to see that job through to the end. And I understand that it's easier to see the job through the end if we are all alive, but it's hard for us all to be alive if we are making dumb decisions, especially when it comes to a vampire lord who has, or nice one, vampire lord, when it comes to his vampire who has set this up in his favor, when he could be doing anything we don't know about.
I'm sorry, I'm not used to working as a team, working with other people. That is not what I've been doing, as stupid as it sounds, for the past, I don't know, 7 years, 12 years. It's been a long time, okay? It's been just me for a really long time. I'm not used to asking for permission when I want to go to a bedroom, for example. I'm not used to filtering plans, which is something I did. I filtered a plan through you instead of just doing it. I'm needing to learn things that seem normal to you, but for me do not come naturally. And maybe just telling me not to is something that you can do, instead of banging me on the back of the head and bringing me into a stable was this supposed to be a private location?
Yes, because I figured you would appreciate it if I wasn't doing this in front of the rest of your party, including your brother.
I don't care if you do it in front of my brother. He'd probably laugh it off anyway. Yikes.
Well, I like it, and I would extend, and I'm extending the same courtesy to you, because like I said, I want this to work out. If we are going to be co-workers for the entire long haul of however long the Inexorables lasts, I want us all to survive to last. And as much as it, again, might seem counterproductive for me bashing you over the head with my pistol, I want us to have, like, a good working relationship. And that means that when we are walking into hostile territory, we don't go off alone without telling people what we're doing. Imagine if we had walked into a monster's cave and not up to your bedroom. That is practically what you did, Zakir. Because we had no idea what was up there.
Alright. And that is what we'll focus on. Fine. We'll focus on the fact that I went upstairs. I do stand by my idea of using bait, and we can go over the logistics of that later. But going upstairs, and he's gonna make eye contact and be like, I was wrong to do that. I wasn't thinking. I was mad because you blatantly shot down my idea earlier.
In the interest of making amends and not leaving this relationship off any worse than it likely already is, let's just say this. When it comes to dealing with Ferris in particular, but when it comes to anything where we aren't fully in control of the situation, just let's inform each other of what we're going to do at the very least. Because if you go off somewhere and we don't know where you are, and there's a potential that somebody has caught or killed you or mind controlled you or captured you, that is a negative for the entire team. And you know what? When it comes to plans like that, let's agree that even if I don't like it and if I have, shall we say, moral objections to a plan such as the one you proposed, regardless of how I like or dislike it, if we have any sort of plans, we'll take them before the rest of the team, and we will agree on a plan as a team. Agreed?
Fine. And he's gonna reach out his hand for a handshake and says, listen, I respect you. You did not show that you respected me.
I want to try to, I don't know, beat some sense into you or something, try to make the point stick. Believe it or not, I'm not exactly used to giving lectures like this. Normally I was on the receiving end.
No, but I thought it went pretty well, honestly. Like, I feel informed.
But, Leopold will go ahead and cast Cure Wounds for the, probably little bruise he gave you. There you go,
thank you.
right
There's
spray.
Well,
Regardless, I
seriously.
made a mess, I better clean it up. Now, do you actually want to get informed of the plan from me, or if you don't want to talk to me anymore after tonight, I wouldn't hold it against you.
Nothing against you. I would like to hear it from the party as a whole. But I will say, like, you've made your points very well, very clear. It was very well done. I can tell that you thought through the words that you had to say, and you executed it very well.
Thank you. But perhaps we will have more discussion for another day, but that is, like I said, for another day. Tonight we focus on the task at hand, which is freeing Stolius. Now let's go inside.
All right. Thank you.
The sexual tension.
Okay, y'all should go through and read the general and in-session
You guys are
meetings.
spamming the people with idea how distracting
Yeah.
that is.
Also, yeah. If like my face stuff seemed off, that's because I was constantly swapping like my Discord cam over to here. Because I had I had like half of that scripted out more towards the front,
Yeah,
and then
I could
like
tell.
swapped that over and I swapped it back. Yeah, still let's see what shit was going on.
I like to
Da-da-da-da-da.
imagine. No, before we cut, I like to imagine that both Rikus and Wayne were just staring out the window,
were.
like watching this happen.
We were
They
like leaning
Hanging
against.
out.
We were literally like leaning against the doorpost, just fucking listening to them, but we could only pick up bits and pieces, because they were yelling at each other in an enclosed.
Yeah, they
So
heard the
they
first
stable.
half.
Enter
This is
back
nasty.
and forth.
No, Wayne, we should read through this. So, we're leaving. DM, you can do your DM bits if you want to.
I was
But-
gonna say, yeah, they were having a chat at the door.
Rikus is sitting here and saying, "Oh, you think they're gonna kiss yet?"
3 more paragraphs. But they are banging already, apparently. At least that's what Sakir just said. So all sex, no love?
Sounds like they're approaching the makeup sesh.
He keeps going on about the bedroom, I think. Kind of hard to hear, though. Wait, they're in a relationship?
Wayne, you ever argued during the makeup sesh?
I've picked a fight as they were walking out just to keep it going.
Yeah, you fucking idiot. How you like that? Go deeper. How about you go deeper in my understanding before being an idiot? read your touche.
Touche. Okay. So, Wayne, Rikus, I only have one question for you guys. Are you still at the door when Leopold and Sakir enter?
Probably leaning even closer in because they've now stopped talking so loudly.
Yeah.
So,
and then
After they open the door, I'm like, can you hear anything?
I'm gonna be like to telling you, he's like, did one of them finish?
you guys hear that as the doors are pushed open. You hear that, and immediately, what was just said? As you peek around the corner to the left of the door, and there's a small window that has been cracked open, where both Wayne and Rikus are just sitting, leaning as close as they can to it.
how much of that did you see?
They got all of it.
They got all of it? Did you at least hear what I said?
Something about the bedroom.
Being a bottom in a relationship and
How is affecting your relationship, and how there was banging involved.
Before you...
we got the part about you banging, but then we were a little confused because you said you were in a relationship and you wanted to go to the bedroom.
I'm gonna slowly put my arm
Pretty sure
on
you-
Leopold's shoulder.
Leo is the bottom.
Yeah, there is something we need to announce to the party.
I need to announce that you were
Holy
all...
shit, Sakir's a bottom.
I need to announce that you were all completely immature. I was having a very serious conversation with...
Oh, we know. Makeup sessions
Not
are
about-
very important for a
We
relationship.
were
Don't worry.
having a makeout session.
Don't worry,
I was-
me and Rikus can share one of the rooms. You two can have the other one.
That was the plan. Yes.
Damn.
He approached me. I was stunned. I was speechless for the longest time.
I'm gonna look closely at Sakir and be like, Sakir, is it true that he's bruised you? He's a roughhouser. And I'm gonna
Roughhouser
look.
indeed.
I'm gonna look over Secure. Do I see a bruise?
It's
Yes,
gone.
there is a bruise forming on his temple.
Hey,
Well,
I
he cure wounds.
He
It's
cure
gone now.
wounds? Okay.
Holy shit, Wayne, we're on to a
You like it
development.
rough? I'll give him
Your
that.
brother's just a masochist.
You know, brother, I may have saved you from a potentially failed marriage, but I didn't know I was truly saving you from your identity.
And
All right, we're
Well,
crossing a line here.
apparently-
This is a good joke.
I don't even
I
swing
think-
that way. I don't even know which way I swing.
Clearly not.
Well, the only swinging I do is pulls out the pistol. This is against your brother's head.
I lean into Wayne and go, God, he's not only bi, he's an idiot.
I thought it was gonna be so much more of a zinger than that. That was.
I was about to say something way worse, but I was like,
I was trying to beat some sense into your brother, considering it worked so well the last time you did it back in
Sargoth.
Sargoth. Worked so well.
I
when
think
you
the
did it,
operative
Sargoth.
word there is off.
And if you do actually care to know the true story, well, Sakia said he didn't care if I told it. I was very mad at him because he went upstairs to go to the bedroom when we knew that Varys was up there and very likely.
yeah, and he saw that hot chick on the
Ah.
bed.
Jealousy.
Yeah.
It is not jealousy. It is
What
the
the
fact
hell,
that your
Secure?
brother could have gotten himself killed or mind controlled again.
Secure, you could have
And
at
I
least
was also
told us
very
you
gay.
needed backup. I know you can't handle a Dane by yourself.
And I was also
I said there was a line you were crossing. You have stepped beyond it. One more step.
And I'm gonna have to
Anyway.
make out with you too.
I'm gonna make that
as I was saying, I was
Gentle
also
did say
very
he wanted to
angry
use a
at your
plunger
brother.
on you earlier.
I was also very angry at your brother potentially using Randall as bait to bait out Varys against without Randall knowing, because the bedrooms upstairs were so dangerous, as Sakia thought before he went to go up to them. But speaking of which, I am going to bed now because this conversation is going to make me want to shoot myself. Good evening.
Right, and
Why
everything
is
he
that a
said,
bad idea?
the true story.
Hmm. You know,
And I'm still angry at that for you, Wayne, he calls as he's walked upstairs. But, you just take a room. He's probably not thinking about which one at this point.
He's climbing in bed with Randall and Lennon.
It's two beds,
You know-
not one, just FYI, but yeah.
Oh. Damn.
brother, beyond all the
Best ones.
beyond all the joking aside, Leopold does have a point.
Yes,
The
I
point
heard it
being
thoroughly.
that, yes, obviously, sacrificing your own men for the means of a possible gain outweighs the likely losses. And I'm sure you've heard that one and thought about it thoroughly since the day our commander said it to your face.
Rikus. If you were
However,
listening, and I know you heard
beyond that point,
weren't listening to large bits and pieces. I was not thinking when I went upstairs, strategically or otherwise. I was simply going to my room. I was trying to justify it, and yes, that's a weak justification. I should not have gone upstairs. There was very high likelihood of danger. For that matter, probably shouldn't have sent two inside at all. Probably should have stayed away from the place altogether. But what happened happened.
yeah. Wayne, where's our resident therapist? Oh, that's right.
Right
He's
here.
asleep.
Oh. You meant Lennon.
Yes, I meant Lennon. He's the only one that.
Last time someone
Lennon
admitted their
is-
sins to you, you rode them like a horse. I don't think that you qualify for any form of therapy.
No, that was punishment. That wasn't therapy.
He's got a point. However,
There is a difference, albeit small.
I mean, between us three here, we can all agree that Lennon is definitely the therapist keeping us all together, emotionally, and
Yes.
probably psychologically.
No, he's not the therapist. He's the child that everyone feels whose life would be ruined if the divorce happened. Okay, there's a very big difference between the two.
Really?
But, Rikus, I hope in the morning you all could inform me about the conversations that were had. I didn't want to re-enter, and now I'm getting concerned. I called. I was in conversation, and I called Gendo about getting in touch with Lycus for us. He's not gotten back to me yet. I might call back again. That is why I stepped outside.
Gendo's been with us for like a day.
And he's the only one who I have direct contact with and happens to be awake at this hour, very comfortably.
Wait, you don't have Lycus on speed dial?
No.
I'm pretty sure you're the only person with a speed dial like us.
Yes, you have all the other sending stones.
Or all the other connections.
Yeah.
but- Oh, that's right.
Do you mind sharing
I
his
mean,
number?
I don't know if it works like that.
Can you share his
yeah.
rune?
Does it work like
Do you
that?
mind share his runes?
Hey,
shares-
yo, girl, let me
dude,
get
shares
some runes.
runes.
She gave me a fake rune.
DM does it?
I found this rune etched in the outhouse.
DM, would it work like that, or is it more like you have to do the connection between them? I can't just like.
The stone has to be
Hand off a
specifically
connection.
designed.
Okay. Never mind.
Unfortunately, you need to update your Rocky Talkie. I think you're a couple firmware patches behind.
Yeah, the Rokia is not very up there.
A couple gravel patches behind.
It's sturdy though. That's for sure.
That's true. I've dropped this from a 10-story building.
Did-
And it's fine. I mean, it
It's
broke in half, but
literally
you
a
just put it
brick.
back together and it's fine.
Okay.
Anyway,
So,
sorry.
as we wrap up this evening and you guys make your way to your beds, Lennon went to sleep a little bit earlier, so you guys are able to wake up at about 7 to 8 a.m. There is no response still. Now, were you going to send another message that evening?
Probably before we went to bed. If it's been like 20 minutes at this point, I want to say. I definitely want to get
With his mention that he's trying to get a hold of Lycus through Gendo, I was like,
That's
well,
minor.
it's not very nice to be bothering Gendo on his first day on the job that he doesn't even know what his job is yet. I'm like, well, let me just ping. So in the evening, I'm going to ping Lycus and wait for a response in the morning.
That's smarter. If
Okay.
you mention that, I won't do Gendo. We can just go straight through yours.
Okay. So you will ping and say, contact me in the morning, effectively?
Yeah,
Okay. Will do.
basically.
You do receive an immediate ping back.
When you say immediate,
I mean, as soon as you ping him, maybe like 2 minutes later.
oh, so we're on the line now.
You get a ping back as though like, hey, I am available to talk. But he does not send the first message.
But I said to wait till morning.
I
Don't
believe
make
he
like
wants
this
to
you
go
up.
now.
Don't leave him on read, man.
Is Wayne and Skier still with me?
If you want them to be, yes.
Since I was like told him not to bother Gendo and send a ping, then we're starting to walk upstairs, and we get We get a ping back, and I'm like, well, so much for waiting till the morning. It seems he's available right now. What time is it, DM?
It is pushing 3 o'clock, if not a little bit later at this point.
Like 3 a.m.?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
If we sleep in, I guess it's not a big deal. And I'll turn it on to speaker mode so that all three of us can talk with the Lycus.
All right. What do you send to start off?
Well, Lycus, I figured you were more than likely busy, but Secure here wanted to make a point to reach out to you about our current situation, and well, I agree. We've come to quite the past 24 hours. So I figured we should read you in.
You hear coming back in a bit of a raspy voice. Gendo had told me just a few moments ago that you were looking to contact me. I am sorry I have been out of touch of late. I have been quite busy and have recently fallen ill. Oh, what exactly do I need to be caught up on?
Well, for one, we found Pax. Quite in a sorry state, I'm told, from the rest of the party. However, long story short, Varys is back. He's involved. So's his brother, Vicious. Turns out they are vampires. Their big daddy, Vampire Lord, is kind of out of touch with reality, but doesn't really play a big hand in things. They kind of just do a lot of dirty work. Anyways, Vicious was the primary one that was involved in the fact of Pax disappearing, as well as our friend
Dolius.
Stolius. Pax was, well, I guess Varys mind-controlled Pax. Or at least charmed him. Yes, Pax was charmed, if that means anything to you about the gravity of the situation. And he was found naked a kilometer into the woods. After an entire cell was completely obliterated. The camp was blaming Pax for it. However, what's his name?
Yes.
Finch.
Finch has been working on breaking into his mind and clearing his name. I'm sure they're probably wrapping that up now, given that we are in team currently, because Varys, who we so aptly deduced was the primary cause of the majority of this, or at least now we discovered secondary, gave us a personal invitation to the Platinum Aboleth up here in team. Small, very kind of hole in the wall, underground, almost feeling like establishment, I would say.
And you
anyways,
accepted the invitation?
it was our only lead.
Surely
And honestly,
you could have had a better find than speaking face to face with the person who you believed to be behind all of this.
well, we didn't know if he was behind all of it, but we know that he was at least involved. Turns out he's running a troop now, called the is it the Laughing Hand?
Laughing Faces.
Laughing Faces. Group of Harlequins. Most of them are turned. Some of them are not. One of them is actually going to be coming with us for a little bit. That's a long story we will get to. However,
Dear lords.
Turns out Varys gave us a personal invitation. Also gifted us a powerless version of his ceremonial dagger that sucks up blood. I'm thinking of giving it to Skier, and I look at Skier. Definitely a cursed object, though, according to Finch. I think it'd be fun to use. We're not the Inexorables for nothing. Either way, yes, we went and met with Varys because, one, it was our only lead. Two, Pax is out of commission. 3, Entrati is still completely nowhere to be seen. Pax has no leads on Entrati, and this is our only lead. So we took the lead. Turns out, Varys has ulterior motives. Enemy of my enemy sort.
Wow.
I know, right? An enemy of my enemy source. However, he is more tasking us with something so that we get what we want, but he gets what he wants in return, which is he wants his brother dead. And his brother lives in the Longwood Estates, south of Team here, has about 50 plus or so spawn at his and just beings at his disposal. We have to meet back with the Vox. We have one of the Kravis Guild with us, Kraven Kravis Guild with us, who's been fully read in on the situation because he was here during the whole meeting. He agrees that it is likely that some of the Vox will join in on this mission because Vicious, Varys' brother, is quite barbaric in nature and has been causing quite a lot of trouble in the area, which is one of the reasons Varys wants him killed. Varys believes in more of a, how do you put it, less of a dominate and more of a undying fealty to me, not because I forced you to, but because you want to. Kind of guy. Very flamboyant. And we have every reason to believe that every single thing he said was true. None of us were charmed. He pinky sweared that he wouldn't charm any of us and didn't feel the need to. Anyways, his right-hand man, who's not turned, who has sworn unwavering fealty to him, is the one who's going to open up the gate to the Longwood Estates. But we wanted to fill you in, see if you had any details, see if you had any other big buff guys you could send our way, because Vicious is, well, vicious. See what I did there.
Rikus, if I am to be entirely honest, from what you've said, it does seem like you have nearly failed in every regard to find your own way into completing this mission, and been given everything by the very creature who you are there to hunt and have hunted in the past. Does that not at all seem suspicious to you?
One, I understand my synopsis was very colorful. I've had a lot to drink tonight. It is 3 a.m. While I am an elf, I am also sleep deprived because I had to lug something around on my. You know what? I'm not going to get to that. But I will tell you, we didn't really have much to go off of.
That's where your investigative chops, I believe, should have come in. Regardless, if you are indeed believing this Varys and his right hand to be truthful in this regard, take every advantage possible. At this point, you'll either be killed by them in a trap, or you'll be able to hopefully succeed. I do not have any other big buff guys to send your way, unless you wish for Ernest. But, in all honesty, he would be quite useless in combat. And this should be dealt with quickly.
We intend to have it done quickly, sir. And if it does make you feel any better in the investigative skills of my party here, we did find Pax and deduce the involvement of Varys and find the ties to Varys all on our own. In Trati, however, we had 0 leads. This was our only lead.
Regardless, I appreciate you looking to catch me up on this, and I again apologize for being absent of late. Things are getting far more tense in the political scene of Ravadan and its nearby areas, and I have not slept in 3 days.
You, sir, are not an elf.
No, I am not. I am sick. And for some reason, certain spells are not helping right now. Regardless, we will be keeping you posted, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in Suno in a few days, if at all possible. Well, come to Revadan first, and then return to and then we shall go to Suno together. Please keep me updated. Find a way to convince the Kravis Guild and the Vox. Perhaps if you are looking for extra hands, the Sapphire God of Team will lend you some. They are known for protecting the roads around their area, not just their own city.
Do you recommend that we? Do you recommend that we try to employ some of the guard before heading to the Vox? I understand that their
If you
relationship
are,
is feud.
If you are, try to meet with the representative of the team family, Senator Sivarium Lucar.
Understood, sir. Thank you for your help.
Mention my name, and you will likely get you far.
Said Severium Lycar?
Yes.
I thought it was Lucar.
Lucar, yes.
Well, sir, thank you for the assistance in that. Try to get some sleep.
The intent is to induce me. I believe Gendo intends on helping with this. Regardless, I wish you luck in your endeavors, and will attempt to contact you tomorrow unless I sleep through the entire day, which does seem to be possible at this point. And at that point, he kind of signs off and is gone.
Sorry I was out of camera that whole time. I've been needing to pee, but I had to give that whole synopsis. So I was pacing. Yo, Lycus thinks we're just a bunch of fucking idiots. Which, to be fair, yeah.
What's the party here? Fucking a preacher, a play detective, a nobleman,
So,
wandering.
as you all go to bed, you wake up in the morning. What would you like to do? No one is there when you awake. There is no Centaur, there is no Varus, there is no Laughing Faces. Their cart has also been moved.
Nice.
Well, over breakfast,
Right,
I figured we could
there's-
discuss plans, see who's going to meet with whom. I figured I could probably work something here in the team, considering I am in fact a nobleman, they would listen to me more. And I did have this idea independent of what Lycus said, I just didn't mention it earlier, even though I should have.
Leopold, you give yourself too much credit. Unfortunately, no one believes you.
I believe him.
Well, I was saying that comment out of character. Because Leopold did not hear that conversation.
Oh, well, we read you in first thing in the morning.
Well, I would have said that before I was read in. Because Leopold has a grand
Ooh.
idea. He needs to make sure everybody knows and it was his, and that he, had thought of it before the DM said the exact same
You
thing.
know what? I think it would be hilarious if Leopold says that idea and says, "Ha, too late. Lycus already told us to go do that, so."
Hold on. Sort of a scene of you're all around the table. Leopold wakes up a little late. You just finished discussing it. Then Leopold comes down and says, I have a wonderful idea. I should contact the Lord of Teams so I can get the Sapphire God on our side.
We're all just staring deadpan at you.
Deadpan.
I think the
Did was that the oh, what's it called?
So you heard our plan while you were getting ready this morning?
I think the better discussion is should we do the attack today or tomorrow?
I turned to Wayne and he's like, it's probably his post. Nudge, nudge. Clarity.
Probably.
No.
Regardless of your crass comments, I believe when we attack is more so dependent on how soon we can rally forces than anything else. If they can only get here tomorrow morning, that this evening is an attack opportunity.
5 p.m. at latest today. I guess more divide and conquer. One of us goes to one group goes to speak to
I think
the
it'd
Lord
just be
and
more efficient if we just all move together and move with purpose and swiftly.
Would it? I mean, it could take some time to talk to the Sapphire God here, team,
we-
and that's a valuable time you could be using to
Yeah.
travel down to the Vox
I would-
camp if we do want to try and get this tonight.
I would like to have at least Randall. If we are planning to stay in team to convince the guard, I would like to at least send Randall back to the refugee camps in order to inform them of the situation, and preferably one of us go with him.
Randall is
If
going.
we
Say, Randall first.
If-
Randall is going to say, I indeed would prefer not to go down to the camps on my own and make this request, especially the request for packs to be released, as I cannot say that I agree with this.
Well, there are 6 of us here. Why not split into groups of 3? I'll stay here
Alrighty.
team, and
I guess I will go with Randall.
who's that going with Randall?
I don't do well in front of nobility, anyways.
I can tell.
Well, I would join, except I don't think I'd add much in that regard.
Well, it's a good thing you're going down to the Vox then.
Alright?
Seems the brothers and one other.
Brothers and the other. And I'll see
Wait,
if we can get the 3 to
Wendy. Well, actually, no. If it's them brothers and Randall. Okay, yeah.
Yes. Very well then. And, Rikus? Try not to get too tired. Try not to get too tired hugging that iron bandle on your leg as you walk back down.
That was
I'll
part of the
have
deal.
to
You
get
do
up.
need to take it back as well. If I remember correctly. You set it down by the side of the
Yeah.
road. I have it for you.
Are you handing that to me?
Yeah, it's just to apply it back onto your leg for the journey back. Or are you chicken?
I'm gonna look at Leopold, look at Skir, look at my leg, look up at Wayne.
It's alright if you can't handle it.
They try so hard, Wayne.
To be fair, you did start this one.
You don't have anyone on your side.
No, I know.
If you get wounded later, come to see me. I think I have some ointment for it.
Except Linen. Linen's on everyone's side.
That's my goal.
That's how he gets the hole.
What hole?
Alright,
Alright.
and with
Rikus
that...
Rikus who's like still definitely like kind of sleep deprived because he slept a lot later than he went to bed a lot later than intended. He's like, Secure, my blood brother. I think it's your turn.
Ah, you wanna have a competition against me instead of Leopold? I'm game. I have my own supplies I can strap. He hands the stuff back to you.
I'm not strapping it where you strap it.
Well, Secure is a top, so
I thought we
He might
said he
have
was
them.
bottom.
You'd rather not strap it to your
Yes.
leg? Upping the ante? That would hurt.
Secure, when was the last time you went on a ruck hike? I did one prior to retirement.
I was mostly down in the swamps. So, almost never.
moister than an oyster.
We can't pause after you say something like that. Keep it going.
I'm just
I
like
think he
nodding.
did.
I'm just like sleep deprived. Rikus is just nodding, like yeah.
Well, we're burning daylight. We probably should.
Put a bunch of bricks in a bag and carry it on our backs.
You know, Lennon, funny you say that. That's quite literally the definition of daylight. It's just burning.
Yes,
Oh.
and this is time we could be using to talk to the Legion Lords of
And
Teams.
I will note to you guys, for you guys to get down to the Vox camp, talk, and then bring a group back up, it'll be long past 5.
So tomorrow at meeting both groups tomorrow at 9 a.m. then.
Well, that's when we have to do the attack. We need everybody in place before then.
Yeah.
Well, Pax can teleport you guys.
Pax
You can't teleport an
can't.
entire army.
Wait, I thought
Sure
Stoli
he
isn't the
can.
magic.
He's
Pax doesn't do magic. That's
powerful.
Yeah, also, yeah, Pax is a paladin. Paladins generally don't get teleportation.
Alright, so as you guys separate to go your different ways, Randall is going to leave the cart here, as the 3 of you are going to go horseback to make much faster time.
We're leaving the cart because Leopold can't walk.
So, as we split the party, 3 going back down to the Vox camp and 3 staying in team to possibly discuss with the Sapphire Guard, we will begin next session in team with that group. I, like Rikus, am utterly exhausted at this point. So I hope you guys had a little bit of fun. This was, I don't want to say lackluster, but certainly less involved a session. But next session we'll pick back up and maybe get some more momentum with Jade being on time, hopefully.
Yeah, and
I think there was a lot of really important
I think there was good
character
art.
development.
There was definitely
Yes.
some good interpersonal stuff. Between
I
the
mean,
party.
we found out
Yeah, there was.
a lot about.
also,
The party found a lot about Leopold and Secure. So
you don't have to answer this right now, Zach, but I'm gonna DM you a question real quick, just because I want to do it before I forget about it.
Alright, so we're gonna end the recording here. Bye bye, future us.
I just like